Welcome back to the channel. Today we are going to try something we have never done before. I know we've watched some videos and they say it's a tedious process if you don't do it right, so we're going to try it. We're going to do some puff ink. I don't remember where I got this puff additive at, but I've had it for a little while and we're going to see if we can do it. We're going to start out with a 10% additive to the ink we're using, the Plastisol ink. We're using a 110 screen because we really don't want a whole lot of puff. Now what this is this another vacation shirt we're doing. We're doing a Deathly Hallows design for our Universal vacation next week. We're going to put it on it's more like a charcoalish, a dark heather shirt, and we're going to see how this puff ink looks. Let's get started. So we're going to open the ink here. Or this is actually the additive. We're going to open it. We're going to add some ink to the bowl. So we're going to turn our weight on, or our scale on. I'm going to try to clean this off a little bit. And we want to get this to grams, which it's already set at. So we're going to start off with not a lot of ink because we don't want to ruin it. So we're going to mix our ink up. We'll mix it up pretty good. It's not as great mix, but it'll be all right. All right, it's already at 0, so we're gonna put some ink in. We're gonna go with 120 grams of ink. Oh, well, let's just say it's 150. So I'm gonna try to be pretty precise here. Try to get a little more in there. All right, right there. It says 151, so we're going to go with that. So, after that, we're going to put 10% in. We're going to put 15 grams of the puffy. So I'm just going to zero that out. Actually, I need to find something to dip this with. We'll be right back. All right, we're going to mix this up some. Don't know how much it needs to be stirred, but we're going to put, what did I say, 15 grams. Now, if you want more puff, you'd add more. So let's see what we're at here. There's 15. Perfect.
Good.
All right, so we're going to take this, a little tip. These little things at Walmart are cheap. We're going to do a tips and tricks video on some stuff that we use to save a little money. These things here are cheap at Walmart, Harbor Freight, any place like that. They're good to either scrape, when you're cleaning your screens, to scrape the ink off, or they're good to mix ink or pull ink out of little small quarts. All right, so we're going to mix this really good. All right, so now we're going to load the ink into the screen. Like I said, we didn't really mix a whole lot, so we don't want to waste ink. Ink's not cheap. Puff probably wasn't real cheap either. All right, so we got a test shirt. It's actually a good shirt, but we're just going to, I got a bunch of shirts laying around that I keep, that sometimes I order an extra too when I'm doing an order. So we're just going to try it on this one first. Not too really worried about getting it lined up. I mean, I did, but we're not worried about it. On this test, we're just going to do a quick print, and then we're going to send it through the dryer. And then if it's not what we want, if we want a little more puff, we might try to do a little quick flash and then reprint and then see how it goes. All right, there's our coat. If you don't have a big dryer like one of these, if you just have a flash dryer, you can do it with the flash dryer, but we have all the equipment, so we're just gonna see how this works. All right, first attempt. As you notice, the ink lightens up a little bit. It gets to like a lighter black, more like a grayish black. But we didn't really get any puff. So we're going to try the same 10%, but we're going to do a print flash print. I'm going to say you got to probably do this pretty quick on a print flash print. You don't want that puffed up before you get a chance to put that second coat on. All right, let's flash that for a few seconds. All right, it's a little tacky to touch, so we're going to go ahead and throw another coat on it. Not pushing down too hard. I'll let it ride on top. All right, that looks like a pretty heavy deposit there of ink. So let's see how that goes.
All right, so second attempt.
All right, second attempt print flash print. You got a little puff, not a lot. I want more than that. The bottom puff probably a little better. I don't know if maybe it's where it's not as detailed and thick, but we're going to probably go up to another. I think we're going to go 20% on the next run. All right, so we're probably going to go up a little more. We was thinking 15, but I'm thinking we're going to go to maybe 20%. Like I said, we're not going to mix a lot of ink. We're going to see what this is here. At 70. At least try to get to, it's 105. Let's take a little bit out. There's 100 right on the money. All right. Put this up. So we're going to go, it's at 100. We're going to zero that out and we're going to put 20% in. You know what? I might even go, let's just go 25 or 25 grams. 24. So it'll be 25%. Let's get another gram on there. There's 25 right there. All right, so now we're at 25. So now we're going to mix it. All right, this is our 20% mixture. Let's load it in. Let's see how it goes. All right, we got our 20% mixture on here. We're going to do one coat first, send it through, and then if it doesn't get to where we want it to go, we're going to do a print flash print. So let's, like I said, we're not really going to push down too hard. We just want to try to clear that screen. And then that looks like a pretty good coat right there. So we're gonna let that go through the dryer and see how it goes. As you can see, there's a little more puff there, not as much as we want. So we're going to go ahead and do a print flash print. All right, so we got the second coat on. So now we're ready to run this through and hopefully we'll get a little more puff. If this doesn't work, we're probably going to go up to 35, maybe even 45% of puff. Now don't forget, the more ink deposit, the better off you're going to be, probably the better puff you're going to be. So if we was really wanting a thick deposit of ink, to get a bigger puff, we'd go down to you can do a 60 mesh or an 86, but we're not looking for something that's going to be heavy. It's going to be hot in Florida, so we're just wanting something that does show though. All right, we got a lot more puff there. That's a print flash print. Still not where we want it to be. So we're gonna, I mean, the wings up here aren't getting a lot of puff. Of course, they are a finer detail. That's got some puff to it. That's got some puff. That's got puff. This is the words really, I mean, the letters really have really good puff. So we're going to mix it up a little more. We're going to add some to it, and that should be where we want it. Okay, so we had a good little run there. Now we know that if we add more puff additive, we're going to have a better puff. So we know now what we need to do. So what we're going to do is we're going to take the 25% that we had, and we're going to take this 10%, and then we're going to add about another 15% to that. And that should hopefully give us the puff we're looking for. All right, we got our bowl back to grams. We're going to mix this in here. For the shirts we're doing for our vacation, we don't need a lot of ink, so we don't want to waste a lot of black ink. I usually have a gallon of ink, but here lately I haven't used a lot, so I only bought, well, actually it's not even something I bought. I got it at a show. I usually buy everything from one stroke. All right, so we have 175 grams of the 25 mix and the 10 mix. So we're going to put another, I think we're going to put another 15 grams in. That puts us at 50 grams, put us at 50% puff. And I'm hoping that it'll bring the wings out a little better, and everything should be pretty good to go. So another 15 grams is what we're looking at. So we should get up to 90. Or 190, I'm sorry. There we go. All right, so now we're at, technically, if you think about it, we're at 15 or 10 and 25, 35, 50% of the ink is puff additive. Of course, if that's how the math works. So we've added another 15 grams, which makes it, we've added about 50 grams of puff. So this is more, like I said, this is a trial and error for us. All right, so we're adding this new mixture. We're, like I said, we're hoping that this is the magic number. Put plenty in here. We might as well just throw it all in there. This works. We got all of our shirts we got to do anyway, so. We have tested so much, we're resorting to the side, but here's the thing. We know this was our first try. This was our second. This was our third, which you could, or this was our third, and this was our fourth, and you could see quite a bit more puff detail in that. All right, we're just going to do this one swipe, and then after this, we'll probably have to get another shirt. All right, so that actually puffed a little, but not as much. So next, we're going to do the print flash print. Didn't actually puff as much as the last one we did. So we're going to see. Of course, this was a print flash print too, so we'll see how that goes. All right, so here we go with our print flash print. I'm just hoping this works. All right.
Moment of truth.
For the second time. Let's see how this works. Not pushing too hard, but I'm going to do an extra coat. And That's got quite a bit of ink on it, so let's go see what it does. Fingers crossed. If this don't work, we're going to go back to the drawing board and we'll let you know how that works. Ladies and gentlemen, we have a winner. It looks like a print flash print on the mixture we got. That is the exact puff we want on this shirt. That is it. Okay, again, we wanted a puff, but we didn't want a super thick puff because, like I said, it's a heavy print. So, when you're walking around in Florida and it's, heavy, it's going to get hot, especially in black ink. So, we're going to print this on a gray shirt and see how it turns out. All right, we're going to see what this looks like on a dark heather shirt. It's a Gildan 50/50. We're going to flash print, just like we did the last shirt. All right, let's see how this looks. All right, guys, looks pretty good. Now we do have some dipple in there, which that's fine. When we watched some videos, we saw that, designs like this, you might need to use an underbase, which we didn't. We could probably use an underbase and it would probably look a lot better, but that's about the extent of the puff that we wanted on this shirt. It looks good to us, and we'll have fun wearing it on vacation next week. Hey, thank you for watching our experiment. We hope you had enjoyed watching the video. If you do like this kind of content, subscribe, hit the like button, hit the notification button, comment, whatever you like to do. But we appreciate you watching.